Okay, take two of this episode. I recorded this whole episode yesterday after I couldn't sleep last night. I downloaded all of this information from my head and did what I thought was amazing episode, but then guess what? No audio at all. So we are trying it again, but this time I'm making sure that everything is working out. Well, let's start with this. Let's discuss today a topic that I've been seeing it going around and that I am so called to speak up right now because it is so important that you understand this point of view, that you take it if it works for you, or you compare it to other ones and see, oh, why the other one is not working and why this may work or why this one is not for me, and leave it in 2023 if you want to make a millionaire 2024 year. Let's talk about it, all about those money blocks. And the question is, have you ever thought what a money block is? And is it truth that you need to release them so that you can have financial success? Where these money blocks come from? Are you going to forever be stuck on those money blocks? Or why is this like a topic for money mindset? And I'm also going to talk to you about why I don't see money blocks anymore. And instead, I see narrative reframes. Let's dive into it in today's episode. Hello, hello, my beautiful babes. So, I absolutely love this topic for two reasons mainly. Number one, shift for me and for my clients and for people that listen to this podcast, for the community itself that interacts with my content, to go from money blocks to the different perspective and how that has released a lot of things in itself. And I also think it's such an important topic to talk about before the end of the year because I don't know why. I mean, I may know why, but I don't know why when January 1st hits the clock, you like mine, it starts immediately self-reflecting on what is wrong with me, what are the blocks that I have, what is the works the blocks that I need to work on, how we're gonna make these financial goals happen next year. And all of this planning and self-reflection comes rushing at you like a beautiful waterfall in Costa Rica, and I want to prevent that from happening in a loop that is not a useful loop for you. So that's why today I think it's important that you buckle up, take some coffee, and listen to the complete episode because I am promising you the perspective that I bring into this is the releasing perspective that I have given all of my clients in the last year, one of the best years for the Money Mindset Hub, and I'm sure is going to support you on your way. So let's start that. Is it truth with the question that is it truth that you need to release money blocks so that you can have financial success? In fact, let's start one step behind that. So, what are money? Among all of the understandings, not definitions, but understandings of what money block is, what a money block really is a blockage between you and your flow of money, between you and money itself, between something that you are creating or um projecting that is stopping money coming in or is stopping your interaction with money. Most of the time, this understanding is from money coming in. You have a block with money, that's why you don't have enough money. You have a block with abundance, that's why you don't have enough abundance. It's always almost always referring to a money a blockages of coming in. But it also can be referred to your ability to keep money with you, your ability to grow money. So, we are talking in general about all of the transactions with money. So, that really is the understanding among different authors and among different people that talks about money blocks. Personally, I heard about this term of money blocks with Denise in one of her books. I think it was Get Rich Lucky Bitch, if I'm not mistaken. It may be wrong, but I think it was that book that she talked about money blocks, the different money blocks that women face, and all these narratives that makes it seem very logical and clear that it's you stopping something. And have a really hot take on this. But in a nutshell, that's what the general understanding of a money block is. Now, is it true that you need to release them so that you can have financial success? Here's the thing, and I think I need to dive into my own perspective so that you can understand what I'm about to say. But the short answer to is it true that you need to release them is that there is no need to release what you don't have. um it's as simple as that for me. Money blocks don't exist, so how can I release something that it doesn't exist? It's like if I'm hugging an imaginary bear right now, and somebody tells me you need to really drop the imaginary bear, I will open my arms and I will say, okay, I release them. But what is dropping in physical reality? Nothing is dropping because it's all in my imagination, right? That's how I see money blocks. You do the work of, yeah, I feel like I'm hugging a bear right now because I'm imagining the bear. And somebody tells me to release the bear. So I open my arms and I release the bear. And I feel like, okay, I released it. But in reality, there is no bear there. It's only on my mind. It's a creation of it. Like it's an imaginary bear. That is how I see a money block. But let me dive into this a little bit more. So, I personally think now, especially a lot after RRT and the RRT perspective, for those who are not familiar with RRT, what is RRT? Is rapid resolution therapy, which I use to clear financial trauma in all of my programs and sessions, and I use it for myself too because it's a very good way to clear trauma without having to relive the trauma. And to me that is magic. I don't want you to go through the trauma again when it has happened before and it doesn't matter anymore because it doesn't exist anymore. What it exists is how your brain is interpreting and processing the information at this moment. That is the point that I really focus on, and that's how RRT has a structure and the point of view that has really support me on this journey. So especially after a lot of RRT, I don't think, I don't see, I don't experience such a thing as a block. Because if we talk scientifically, like scientifically speaking, which most of the time we are not used to think or speak in this way, scientifically speaking, is that you see a tree. If I turn right, is it right or left? Left. If I turn left into the window, I see there is a tree. And the tree there has one, two, three, four, five branches. That is the factual information. That is scientifically information. But we're not used to think in that way. But if we were to talk from that perspective, we can see that there is nothing ever blocking nature. I mean, I have a lot of plants at home, and when I look at them, they are all in my window. And when I look at my plants at home, I have one in particular that really likes to grow through the walls of my house looking for the sunlight. I don't know what is the name of the plant, but are these plants that really find their way through the walls and through everything just to see the sunlight, right? I mean, all plants do, but this one in particular, that is like literally the house is the hallway for her. So she really grows into looking that for that sunlight. And I wonder, and I know that you have in mind the name of the plant, or you know what plant I'm talking about, because it's the plants that you see growing everywhere, literally through the walls and through the objects. They're so pretty. Okay, but my question is, do you think there is an object that gets in between this plant and its way to the sun? Absolutely no. This plant grows and continue its trajectory because is its nature. It's as simple as that. There is nothing going to stop her way between she, yeah, all of my plants are females. She looking for the sunlight. There is nothing coming in the way. If the wall is there, she's gonna climb through the wall. If it happens to be something else in between it, it's gonna climb or go around it, and it's gonna find its way to the sunlight. That is just nature. There is nothing blocking or stopping. And same happens with animals. When zebra is born, like if we think about a zebra being born, it has an instinct that it's being provided since the womb, since the day that zebra was conceived. And that instinct is to find mom, to keep her or him, it's always a her, to keep her protected, fed, and alive. So there is no such a thing as a blocking her. It's her instinct. And to keep her fed, to keep milk coming. So that's an instinct that any mammal animal will have. It will find its way to the milk. Period. End of this story. Now, let's think about this same way about money. It has been for so long part of our economy, and that is part of the ecosystem right now, right? I mean, the first coin, the first notion of money that we have was BC, the times BC. It has been for so long, generations after generations, in our humanity, that it becomes part of the ecosystem that we live in, right? So you are born to a world that deals, talks, manages, have a knowledge about money. So I think it is safe to say that after a couple hundreds of generations dealing, seeing, and interacting with money, our survival brain, that brain that brings the instinct out, has adopted money as part of the environment, right? For better or for not so good, because with that adaptation, they a lot of stuff have come around too. A lot of those narratives that um took part of that adaptation have come around too, especially for us, especially for female entrepreneurship, especially for Afro female entrepreneurship, Latino female entrepreneurship. You name it, it has come with a lot of narrative. But at the end of the day, brain has adapted money as part of the environment we live in. So, scientifically speaking, just like a mama always gets to the milk and a plant always gets to the sun, we naturally now get money. And there could be nothing that block us from getting there. And that is my perspective. There is nothing that can block that natural instinctive instinct. I don't know if aesthetical is a word, but I just made it up. That natural instinct part from getting there. The thing is that there is one difference, there is one difference between us humans and plants or animals. We are the only species that mind will make us stop, will trigger the danger signs by a created danger or a real danger. And that in itself is huge. Because when you imagine, quote unquote, imagine or bring to the present something that may happen by thought in the future, like may happen in the future, and you bring it to the present by thought, you are creating a possible danger. And your mind cannot read it any other way. So when you are, today is the 13th of December. When you are thinking about 13th of January and thinking, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, I am going to be in the same exact position with money. I am going to have the same exact struggles that I'm having now, or I'm not going to have a brighter future with money. Although it's not happening, a mind of zebra, it's always reading what is happening right now. It doesn't worry about the future, it doesn't worry about the past because it doesn't have that ability. But mind of a human, mind of Alejandra, it's always thinking, or tends to think, what is going to happen in the future so that she can bring it to the present and show you the possible danger so you have a better chance of survival. It's fucking amazing how mind works. But what is more amazing is that you understand how really it tends to work so that you can cut yourself there and say, okay, now I know what I'm doing. So what happens is that you are creating a danger that may happen in the future and you're bringing it back into here. So mind cannot read it like, oh, this is a future thing. It only can read it. It is happening right now. There is a fire going on right now that we need to stop it. But what fire? If the fire is going to happen in 10 days or 10 years or in a month, I don't know. Mine goes like, I don't know. There is a fire like happening right now. You need to cut it off. And then your logical mind is like, but what are you talking about if that fire is going to happen in 10 years, in a month, in 10 days? It's just this amazing creation by bringing from the future to the present. So mind cannot read it any other way than the danger that is happening right now. So naturally, as it's supposed to, it will it will stop you or slowing you down from getting to that thing that is creating the danger. It's just natural. And that's why I really love the quiz that I have done for you to find out exactly what is the type of brain that you have with money so that you can catch things like this. And if you haven't downloaded, it's completely free in 90 seconds. You have your type. And then I have done a whole sequence of emails supporting you with exercises, with prompts, with reflections that will allow you to understand your mind better with money and work with it. If you haven't downloaded, go to themoneymindset.hub.com/quiz and download it from there. I will also link it on the show notes of this episode. But the thing is, I don't see blogs anymore. What I see, because it's impossible now for me to say, I just see the natural flow of it. It's like me going, if I were a plant, just going to the sunlight. I just see the natural flow of it. But what I see are narratives that go against the natural flow of you and money. And that is what I want to support you reframing today. I want to share with you those reframes, and it's gonna come um, as a surprise for some of you, or it may not. And I also want to invite you to reflect what other narratives are coming up for you and come and share it with me because I want to know what is the narrative and how we can reframe it so that you go back into your natural flow of things that will happen with money. Now, this is I have like for the episode, I took an article. The article talks about money blogs, and they have laid out like 20. And all of these are really very punctual narratives, like not listen to your intuition, seeing life as a zero game, um, lack of self belief, using money as an status symbol. All of these things that they are narratives like net worth equals self-worth, but I want to give you a premiere because I am writing a book that is I'm really excited to being alive in the next year or 2 years. And the first thing that I wrote are the 10 money narratives that we gotta shift in order to really see money for what it is. And I want to give this time the first five that I have written that I really think are the key essential narrative to shifts and really live in the flow. There is nothing like releasing, it's just a change of narrative because there is nothing that can stop you from in the way to get money. And let me tell you before I dive into these five, when I say to get money, I'm not referring only to your ability to receive money, to your right to receive money. I am also talking about the other parts of the process of money. So I inside of the money mindset hub and the programs, what I do is that I design all of the programs in the specific moments that you interact with money in the money making process or money having process. So the money having process is here and it's a process in itself. And I create programs where you require a direct interaction with that process because I know the process is going to continue being at its natural being. But when you interact with it, you bring your narratives. And that is when I get, okay, we can move and we can do all of these things here. So what I'm doing here with the reframing of the beliefs is that I'm making sure that you get that the process is so easy and that the process is so factually and so comfortable to walk that when you enter to interact with that process, you are like, great. Now I know how to have the $1 million year. I know how to grow my business. I know how to make $2,000 consistently with my business. I know exactly what part of the process I need to interact with and how I need to interact with that process as well. So let me pull up the part of the book that I want to share with you. Okay. And I call it the 10 beliefs to switch for the big money for to the way to be the big money. There is something else there, but I'm gonna skip it because it is a surprise for the book. All right, so let's go with the first one. The popular belief, or yeah, the popular belief, or the money block, let's call it that way, to continue with what you have in your mind. But again, it's not a blog, it's just a narrative. So the popular belief is money is for the select few. Now, the reframe to the big money belief is that you are an essential part of the money equation. Without you, there is no money. So, how this popular belief is manifesting today? When you have your business and you're scrolling into Instagram and you see, oh, there is this person doing all of these things. It looks so nice. She just posted that she had her 24K month or whatever, or 40K month or 10K month, and you're still like not finding the way on how to make it happen, and you clearly know that she has it because she has always known how to make it. For people like her, this is easy. For people that can show up like her, this is easy. For people that can talk like her, this is easy. Of course the money is gonna become easy for you, and you are excluding yourself. That is how most of the time the comparison game that is for her and not for me comes into manifesting in female entrepreneurship. Now, the big money belief reframe is that you are an essential part of money, of the money equation. Without you, there is no money. And here's the thing, when you have studied the narratives around money for as long as I have, you understand pretty easily that money couldn't exist without you. And the reason it exists is because of you. So, yeah, you're the fucking boss. Money was created to expand the community, and it was the way to exchange goods and services. But guess what? Guess what? Without those people who produced those goods or services, without those communities, without those interactions, money wouldn't exist. I mean, so here you go. Welcome to your new duty as a CEO. Remembering that you are the fucking boss, that you are the essential part of the money equation, as much as the person next to you in a system that is based in consuming and exchanging goods and services. Period. End of the story. Now, second popular belief. And I love this one for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is because the financial industry or the personal development with money industry have kind of evilized this one thing. And the popular belief is expenses are just losses and keep you broke. Wait a minute. And how this is manifesting in the whole behavior of female entrepreneurship is that you get so freaking worried and stressed and anxious every time that you have to pay for something. You're always calculating, you're always thinking, I'm not gonna make it back. You're always thinking you're losing when you are buying, when in reality, buying it's a whole different thing. So here is where it comes the big money reframe or the big money belief. Expanding your view in expenses, like expand your view in expenses and you will expand your cash flow. That's it. Because most of the popular financial advice will attack your expenses as there is no worst enemy for financial growth than to buy things. But purchases and expenses are also an essential part of creating money. When you buy, money moves. And when money moves, money is being used, therefore multiplied. And I love it. I love to see it as I say that, as I read those things. I'm like, I love to see it in my mind. Like when you buy, just imagine you going to buy something. It can be the grocery, it can be anything. When you buy and you put your card, you pay with cash, you put your pay wave and it just clicks and does the vibrations like psh, you that and it goes accepted accord like here in the Netherlands. Money is moving, money moves, and when money moves, it means that money is being used and therefore multiplied. Because when I put that pay wave in that payment central, I am not only buying that thing, I am also supporting the whole supermarket. And if I go to a person that is helping me to register, I am also moving money through her, through him, and through the whole family. I'm also supporting the industry that has made the paveway itself. Like, how crazy is to imagine that my money is doing all of that? It's being multiplied in couple of seconds. And of course, it is always easier and sane to control what is actually under our control. In that case, your expenses, because it is easier to think, okay, if I'm spending it, I can control it faster than if I don't know if somebody is going to sign up for my program or if somebody is going to buy. It the perception of control, it's like easier on the expenses side. But expenses are no losses and won't keep you broke by any means. Instead, the way I see it, expenses allow us to expand, to get to know new things, to experience new products, and from an energetic perspective, I am damn sure that by me buying something, I am transforming the energy of money into what other people is offering. And that is huge. In other words, instead of just looking at expenses as money going out, think of them as part of the normal money equation. It is a game changer. Okay, number three, popular belief is you're worth what you have in your bank account. And I, the way that I've seen this manifested in female entrepreneurship is the shame, the guilt, and the inability to talk about money as well. Because as popular belief, they have pushed us to really identify who we are with the number on a bank account. They have that narrative have really pushed us to become a number when we are a whole person, even when you have a business. Now, the reframe that the big money belief is the balance in your bank account doesn't say anything about who you are. And there is a lot of narratives that some people have found very useful to infuse through the systems in order to influence others. And I find this so interesting. As I say it, I just can't really process the how good they are to infusing narratives throughout everything, throughout the systems, to influence others to do certain things throughout our history. And this belief in particular is one of them. For us, the unconscious link to this belief may be stronger than for others. For us, I mean, Afro Latinas who want to step into their power, Afro Latinas entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurship, um, BIPOC entrepreneurship, like you name it. I will honestly put us, when I say for us, in a whole bubble of female entrepreneurship as well, because what? Women managing money? How? When was that possible? Because if I remember correctly from history, 17 years ago, that was 70, 80 years ago, that was something like not many people had that ability around the world. If we think about women putting businesses, what are you talking about? Women in charge of money, women in charge of businesses, women in charge of whole systems that change the narrative? What? That is not even conceived like 100 years ago. What are you talking about? 100 years ago sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's really not. So they have gotten very good at influencing these narratives throughout the system. And for us, the unconscious link, to believe like this, to believe this belief to be truth, may be stronger than for others. But after all, those who created these kind of narratives were the ones that once were quote unquote certain that our ancestors were properties and not people, and that they were incapable of living independently and needed to be guided and controlled by them. I am just going to leave it like that because I think this in itself is just a mind blowing, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and it's a really mind changing perspective. I tell you I was going to give you five, but I feel these first three are going to make a change for you. I'm going to leave the other two for the next episode because I just have a rush of an idea that I want to do with these other two. So stay tuned because we are gonna continue changing these narratives. in order for you to live them in 2023 and start your 2024 millionaire year with a clear perspective and a confidence and knowing that this is going to be a reality for you. Now, I also have something very exciting coming up that I can wait to walk you through. And it's exactly this. It's exactly walking you through the process of money, making money, managing money, multiplying money from a very easy perspective, because I have done all of the work to digest all of that, and I just want to give you the reframes, the exact path and exercises and blueprint for you to follow that path and arrive to your millionaire year. And that is coming up in January, most likely. So stay tuned for that, because it is going to be mind changing, game changer with money as well. Okay, let me know how you think about these money blocks, and if you have any other narratives coming up for you, share with me, because I would love to discuss it in the podcast as well. Until next time, I will see you.